Hello, and welcome to Bronze Age Monsters, the show where we wade into the weirdest and wildest waters of the comic books of the 1970s. This season on BAM, we covered a Bronze Age buffet of supernatural heroes and tryout books, and we're here now to share some of our insights from this season, and we're going to share some of the favorites that we heard from you, the listener. I'm your co-host, Matt Howell.
I'm your other host, Jacob Balcom.
Thanks for joining us this week, listener. Jacob, it's good to see you.
Good to see you too. Yeah, we've been kind of out of commission for a couple weeks. It's been weird.
It's been very weird. I'm trying to remember where the words come out. It's out of this hole, right?
I think so. I don't know.
Okay. So hopefully we've got some friends out there. I see we do already. Have some folks out there who are going to be watching along with us. And as I alluded to a bit here on social media and here in the description, there's going to be some quiz questions. So if you feel like season 5, the Bronze Age buffet, and you feel like you could answer some questions and you want to hop on or just say, hey, you don't have to do a quiz. If you don't feel like you want pressure, that's fine. We're also very generous judges. So if you want to pop in and say, hey, whatever, we're going to grab some folks. And how you do that is in the description below. There's a link to the waiting room. And so if you, we'd love it if you put some headphones on so there's no echoing issues with latency and audio bouncing around. But if you are interested in saying hi to us or doing a quiz or both, hop in the waiting room and hang out. You can watch the show in the waiting room, I believe. And we'll be pulling folks in as we go throughout the show and just saying, hey, what's up? So, hey, Josh, everybody. Okay, good. So Jason's here. Hey, Jason Finestone. Hey, Letty. Hey, Josh. Hey, Jackson. Everybody's here. Dang. All right. So we're getting, okay. So this is exciting.
Yeah, this is good. I love Josh is glad that both of us dressed up and we wore our tuxedo shirts again. So thank you for noticing. That is our deal. And we will never break that.
Yeah. And if you do see me profusely sweating, it is because it is like 95 degrees in my office right now. And so I'm not nervous. I'm cool as a cucumber, baby. I do this all the time. I'm just sweating bullets. Okay. So as I said, we'd love to say hey to you, do some quizzes. The quizzes also, by the way, they have prizes. And there's also consolation prizes. So if you hop in and you'd say, hey, give me the quiz gauntlet. And you take the gauntlet and you don't win, you're still going to get a button and a sticker from us into the mail. You know, we're feeling generous. And yeah, so I think that's the top info right there as far as like getting along. I think we're ready. Like, I don't want to belabor this too much.
Let's do it.
Honestly, though, it has been quiet. Like you said, it's been quiet. We were supposed to do this last Friday. I came home from a business trip and woke up sick as a dog. And so I was hoping to do this with my buddy Jacob sitting in the movie theater seats behind me like we usually do. But I didn't want to make him sick. I wasn't sure if it was food poisoning or something else, but I didn't want to make him sick. So I said, let's not do this. And so
I appreciate
we're doing it tonight. Yes. Yeah. So yeah, not the first choice of the way I do it, but this is how we do the show anyway. So who cares, right?
It's fine.
So what have you been doing?
Oh, me. Well, I'm gearing up at the library for summer reading program, which is a big thing that I'm kind of in charge of this summer. And so just getting all our performers, all our books and prizes and bingo sheets and everything together. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of that at work. Yeah, like you were saying, Alicia and I were up in Portland last week for us to do the finale, but we also had a wedding to go to. We went to a really beautiful wedding in Hood River. We got to see a bunch of friends. So yeah, no, it's been nice. I did that thing where I went to my aunt and uncle's house and they had a tub of old photos and records, and they were threatening. My aunt was threatening, like, I'm going to throw this away. You better take it. And so I was like, all right, fine, I'll take it. And so I've been going through that, doing some family archiving, which I really like. And so that's been how I've spent a lot of my time the last couple of weeks.
Sweet. I've been working a lot. Yeah. I've been working more than I was before. My company got acquired by a bigger company that other people probably know, but I'm not going to say. So yeah, I've been working a lot, did some work travel. While we haven't been producing new stuff necessarily for BAM, there was some stuff. I didn't want to just have a month-long void and leave people hanging while we had a little break before the finale. So we put out the Roy Thomas interview with a little commentary about, what do you guys think about the Wolverine controversy that's going on? We were curious. And folks, if you haven't seen that yet, that's in our YouTube thing. We made that public. And so that's in this channel. You can go back to videos that are already published and I also ended up we were doing a Satana audio drama, and that was going to be something private just for the Star God and pack member tiers. And I decided, since there's this big space of nothing going on, let's just share that with everyone. And that was quite a push, Jacob. At the end, I worked 11 hours before to get that out that Saturday.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Did not think it was going to take that long to put together, but I was really happy with the way it came out. I was really stoked with the audio work that people sent in. We have some talented people that are in our audience that are friends of ours, and my daughter got her star turn as Satana. She loved it. It was really fun coaching her through a sex scene with you. Glad you guys weren't in the same room or in the same city while that was happening, or doing it in the same month, because you recorded your parts separately and like cut them together.
Yeah, I was listening to him like, man, this is so cool, and I was like, oh boy, I had forgotten about what happens in this one. So yeah, but as long as you're cool with it, I guess it's fine.
Yeah, and I definitely hit that weird part that I get where it's like where your creative brain goes coked out, and I'm like,
yeah,
well, wait a minute, if he's answering the door and this is going to be a sex scene, this is 1974, there needs to be some kind of music that sounds like something that'll be on the radio right then. So then I was like, well, what sounds like a jazzy Brazilian pop song? And then I went and recorded a bossa nova song to be in the background quietly. So I got in that space with it where I got a little weird about it.
Nice,
but I think it turned out great. So thank you, Jackson. I appreciate it. Thank you, Josh. I appreciate that. Athena, like we wrapped it, and Athena's like, so there are any more of these? I was like, there is. Jacob and I have to do a comic book version of this, and then there's another chapter that Jerry Conway wrote that is text. She's like, I want to be Satana again. So
okay,
she's already champing at the bit for more.
Good, that's awesome.
So yeah, okay. So yeah, we've been busy. We've already kind of planned out what we're doing. If you don't know, we're coming back in a week or so into June, and we're starting season 6 of Creature Commandos. And that's a DC book that was from Weird War Tales, I believe is the title. I ask you this every time.
That's right, Weird War Tales.
Okay. Yeah, and so we're excited to do that. We already have a couple guests lined up. And that's going to be the first season with a little bit of a retool. We know that season and the following season, and then we're going to decide what we want to do, if we want to do more after season 7. But we already know what's going on. But we are doing a little bit of a retool for quality of life measures, I guess, for just to make sure everybody's happy doing the show. We always want the show to be something that's fun to make. So we'll address the changes to the show at the end. Hopefully for most of you, it will not be anything that you don't like. But yeah, I think I'm ready to dive in. We had some categories here. If you didn't get a chance to vote, it is too late. However, Jacob set up a nice Google form doc, and people could vote online for their favorite Bronze Age monster character, their top 3s, and the character that was gone too soon, their favorite supporting character, their favorite villain, their favorite monstrous moment, and their favorite cover. So we're going to go through those. If you're not familiar with our finale, we go through. Jacob draws a name out of a magical champagne bucket of the entries. That person gets a prize. We have several prizes. We have some Creature Commandos that our friend Jackson bought. We also have shirts and coffee mugs and stuff in the shop that you can pick out as a gift from us for winning and for voting and for making this all fun. Had a lot of entries this year. It was awesome. I really appreciate the involvement from everyone. So I think I'm ready when you are.
Yeah, I'm totally ready. Let's dive in.
Or do we want to say hi to someone before we dive in? There's someone in the waiting room.
Oh yeah. Let's take a sec and say hello to whoever's in the waiting room.
Okay, so we have our friend Glenn Lash hanging out there. Let's get him on board.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, Glenn.
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. So good to see you.
It's great to see you. I feel everyone. I feel like I used to see you every Sunday night when we do a watch along of a weird movie, and Renee's been saying, what happened to watch alongs? And Jason Farrell asked me, and people have been like, I missed the watch alongs. So I'm gonna get back on board. I promise.
Well, sure, but you guys deserve a month's break. I mean, you work really hard to provide a lot of entertainment for us, so we appreciate it.
Would you write that down?
Yeah, because you have that notarized for us. That would be great.
So,
would you like to do a quiz by any chance?
Well, I was thinking about this. I've watched all the podcasts, and I've read all the comics, and I feel like though I'm going to fail. I don't think I know any details, but I'll be happy to try.
Let's do it. Let's try it. Okay. Start off with a softball here. What TV show did Ben Grimm miss to attend an art show at Jess Duncan's Soho Loft?
You would think it's a softball. Because he was bitching about it. Oh,
yeah,
man.
he mentioned it multiple times.
I know he did.
Yeah. It's okay. We can move on.
Sorry.
No
Yep.
pressure. No.
I would say
Second
18,
question.
but it wasn't the 18.
Should we say what the answer is, though,
What
Matt?
was it? Yeah.
It was Space 1999.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, he was pretty upset.
See, I
about it.
told you.
Yeah.
The only reason I
look,
thought it was worthy of being a trivia question was because he groused it. We were very amused. Maybe I was more amused than other people were.
No,
Yeah.
I love Marvel 2-in-1. I have a blast with those issues.
Yeah, they're always fun. Okay, so next question. What brings the Golem to life in his debut issue?
The golem is brought to life by a little bit of parchment that's inserted in somewhere that he has. No, wait, actually, the guy that's shot to death at his feet reads some kind of passage.
You're so close.
He does, but it's also the single tier.
Oh, that's right.
It's a
That's
single
it.
tier.
Yes. But yeah, no, that's it's also correct. He does do that.
Yeah,
That is
you
not
should have told me
incorrect, so
there's
I will
two
accept
things.
that.
Yeah.
Yes, and we're going
Thank
for
you.
2 out of 3
Acceptable.
here. So
Okay.
you get this one right. You just won.
This is all the money, huh?
Okay. Which writer created Encanto the Living Mummy? Wrote the first issue he appeared in.
You would think I would know that too.
A lot of favorite writers. He's
Yeah, I know.
a wacky cosmic guy that we all love.
I'm thinking Jerry Conway.
Nope, think
Final answer?
wackier. Think 70s.
Wackier. See, I told you I was going to embarrass myself.
You're not embarrassing
We'll
yourself.
give a
though.
couple
I
of his
have
other
no idea.
creations. Maybe Howard the Duck.
That's who I thought I named. It's not Jerry Conway. You're totally right.
Tip of the tongue.
Shit. Yeah, I
it's
know.
It's right there.
It's on my shelf right over there. Let me go grab that.
You wrote a lot of the Son of Satan Marvel Spotlight issues.
No, I know. I know exactly what you mean. It's just, will the name come to my mind? Howard the Duck by... No, I'm sorry. Go move
That is
on.
okay.
Give the prize to somebody else.
That is okay. You're still gonna get a sticker and a handmade button. Okay.
You know,
So
that's
thank
great.
you
You
so
know
much for
what?
playing.
I already have Creature Commandos anyway, and I bought
Yeah,
every
there you go.
T-shirt in your shop. So,
So before
See-
we let you go, Glenn, what did you think of this season so far? I mean, not so far, but in general, just general
Yeah,
high level.
compared to the other seasons, even.
I thought it was a blast. You know, I loved getting this assortment of characters and getting exposed to them. And I never would have dug up these guys, you know. And Encanto was a lot more entertaining than I would have thought a mummy would be. I mean, that's just not something that I would have been interested in. But, you know, he was really fascinating. Yeah, I just thought it was great bouncing back and forth between these different characters. I thought it was a great thing to do. It was a lot of fun.
Good. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. And yeah, thank you for saying hey and popping in. I appreciate that. It was awesome to see you.
Yeah, you too.
And yeah, we'll be seeing you soon, hopefully, on Discord and maybe a watch along or something fun.
No
Yeah,
doubt. I'll study before your next test.
Yeah.
Okay.
You did fine.
I have no idea how hard these questions are. Again, I read
Not
these
easy.
issues 3 or 4 times.
Those aren't hard questions.
Okay. Okay.
All right, Glenn. We'll see you
All right,
soon.
Glenn.
All right.
Yes.
See you.
Take care. Okay, so let's do our first category.
All right.
Thank you, Glenn, for playing along. I totally respect anybody who's willing to pop on and answer berserk trivia from 40 years ago. So
Yep. No, Glenn
bravery
was
is much appreciated.
Yeah, Glenn was brave. He was the first one. So yeah,
Yep.
2 buttons and a sticker.
Bravery buttons, yes.
Bravery, one for bravery, one for participation.
Yes, sir. All right, first category, Jacob.
All right, so yeah,
We'll
our first
do-
category is first favorite. We did our top 3 Bronze Age monsters. So yes, Jason Feinstein's here, so the show can actually begin.
Oh, finally, okay, yeah.
Yes,
Just twiddling our
okay.
thumbs.
Yeah, we were just kind of winging it, but now this is for real. So our first. So should we say who won through the voting first, or who you and I picked?
I think we should. Oh, I'm sorry. Draw a ballot first, please. I like that.
Okay, we're gonna draw a ballot out of the champagne bucket.
That's the sparkling wine bucket.
That's the sparkling wine
There's no way that
buckets.
came from that region of France.
Sorry. So my wife gave me little envelopes, and I wrote them on these little like tickets that would be on like a
Sweet.
piece of clothing, vintage. And so Jason wins.
Okay.
There we go.
So, which category did we draw for? I'm sorry.
This is for first favorite Bronze Age monster. Now, Jason, so we say what Jason chose, right?
Yes. Are we doing count up from 3 to 1?
Oh, yeah, we are doing count up 3 to 1. You're right. Okay.
Okay.
All right. We almost screwed up there. I almost screwed up there. Okay. So Jason, for his third place of favorite Bronze Age monster, chose Brother Voodoo.
Nicely done.
Yeah, Brother Voodoo got a lot of votes in that category. Matt, do you want to say who your third favorite ones?
My third favorite was Encanto the Living Mummy.
Okay.
This was hard, and I'm going to go ahead and say what I think people felt probably voting. I'm going to project here a little bit. I feel like there were 3 real candidates for everything.
Yep.
And then everything else was varying degrees of, don't blame me. I voted for Kodos, whatever. Like,
Yep.
I don't know. Like, it was just 3 jockeying for all these things for the most part. So, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So third favorite Bronze Age monster for you was
Encanto the Living Mummy.
Okay.
And
yes,
I chose him because all the stuff we've covered here, again, all of this is just highlight reel stuff. I love that he was a thinking, feeling mummy. I think Glenn mentioned this just a minute ago. Like, he was like not what you would think of when you think of a horror comic book mummy character. Like, he thought, he felt, he was truly alive, and he famously sat in Central Park and thought about life. And I think we all kind of felt that, So I loved him.
Yeah.
What was yours?
Okay, so for my third favorite, my third favorite was Brother Voodoo. So there's 3 in the top 3, like you said, pretty much across the board. But Brother Voodoo, I'd heard so much about him from you and from doing our first season, Werewolf by Night, going through that run, and when Brother Voodoo shows up, and you were so excited. And I totally understand why Brother Voodoo is a badass character. It is such a bummer that, Len didn't get to write more issues, and all the, I don't know. It was an incredible run. So, but this was very hard. So somehow Brother Voodoo ended up third, but man, 1, 2, and 3 are going to be real equal.
Oh yeah. There's
Like,
yeah. It was definitely a Sophie's choice through the whole thing.
yeah.
Okay. So that was Jason, you said?
Yes, that was Jason
Okay.
wins.
So Jason, by the way, before I forget, you have won a Creature Commandos trade paperback and a shirt from the gift shop, a regular standard t-shirt, your design. So your choice. So you will need to email us at bronzeagemonsters@gmail.com. Okay. Reach out and say, hey, it's me. I won a prize. How do I pick it out? And I will hook you up. Okay. Okay.
All right.
So we're sticking with him for, we're doing different names, right? For each tier.
Yeah. So let's just, I think at the end we'll talk about how everyone voted and the breakdowns. I think that'd be interesting to talk about. So,
Totally
okay,
agree.
we're on to number 2, favorite Bronze Age monster. Pulled this out of the sparkling wine bucket. We have Teresa Crawford.
Hey, Teresa.
Okay. Hey, Teresa.
Thank you for voting.
Yeah. Thanks so much for voting. Okay. Teresa's second favorite Bronze Age monster was Modred the Mystic. Nicely done. Nice choice.
Nice.
Yeah.
I was worried he wasn't gonna get asked to the prom. So I'm glad that somebody.
He did get some votes. He got a couple votes, Teresa being one of them. So Teresa is Modred's champion, and has made sure that he is not forgotten, even though he really only during the Bronze Age, or I guess he showed up later in the Bronze Age, right?
Yeah, a few here and there. He was.
Yeah.
He kind of did the Brother Voodoo thing and bounced around a little bit. They tried to make him work, and then he became more used, I think, in the late 80s.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
So, okay, you want me to go or you want to go for our second?
we'll keep this rotation going for right now. So
Okay.
I'll go with my second, and this is
Sounds
going to
good.
be controversial.
Okay, I'm in.
My second favorite character was Scarecrow.
Wow.
Yeah,
I gotta
So-
say that's a bit of a shocker to me.
yeah, and there is a lot of logic to this. I thought through this a lot.
Wow. Okay.
And for me, it was largely about I as much as I wanted to see more of the Scarecrow, and I loved reading through that script of what would have been issue 2 of his own book had he got it, and I think there was a lot of ground to cover there. I feel like largely he would have been a 12 to 18 issue run of good, solid stuff, and then kind of dried up. So that's what knocked him down out of the first tier spot. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
So your number 2,
My number 2 is Scarecrow as well.
really?
Yeah. So
We drink for that, don't we?
Yeah, we do drink for that. I mean, that's a cousins are two of a kind kind of thing. So
Yes.
we yeah, well, my logic, again, we loved all 3 of the characters in our top 3. But yeah, I really loved the blog that you found of Scott Edelman's that just gave us so much. Like, it's so funny, you know, like I feel like I rely a lot on Tomorrow's, and I rely a lot on this, you know, this scholarly print kind of thing, and maybe sometimes don't do the deepest internet dive that I should. But you immediately found that blog, and that blog was just gold for the Scarecrow character. So much cool shit came out of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Seeing what Perlin would have drawn for a splash page. I mean,
That
we were
is
so spoiled.
That was mind blowing. So yeah, Scarecrow's number 2 for me, but he gets love from me later on.
Okay.
You know, this is not my only Scarecrow love, not by a long shot.
And no one needs to worry about him not being loved throughout this evening here.
No, not at all.
So same goes for you. Winner there. Is it Teresa?
Teresa?
Teresa. Yeah.
Or
Bronze Age Monsters at Gmail. Hit me up. I'm waiting for you. Okay. You got a Creature Commandos coming to you also. Okay. These top tiers are definitely getting the favorite BAMs. They got to get them.
He got to get
Courtesy of Jackson.
Yes, thank you, Jackson, for donating those for all the pack members and Star Gods and cult followers, all the people that we love. Okay, you ready?
Right. Yep, number 1.
This is the big one. This is number 1. Okay.
For all the marbles.
For all the marbles. We got David Goodwin.
Hey, he was a voice in the Satana.
He was a voice in the Satana. He is a pro at it.
Yeah, turns out he has a background of doing voice work for anime. He sent in his thing, and I was like, well, obviously, this guy's getting in there. That's pretty fucking cool.
That's very cool. Yeah. He's worked on some really high profile projects and is a great guy and has been a big supporter of the show since the beginning, honestly. So yeah, very, very cool. I always feel honored when people that like have been around since the beginning, like still listen to us. Because I can't say that about some podcasts I liked like 5 years ago. Like sometimes I'd just be like, I'm kind of done with those guys. But those fucking guys, fucking Jacob and Matt. But no, so I'm very excited that it's David. Okay. Number 1 favorite Bronze Age monster for David is the Living Mummy.
Can't argue with it, man. I mean,
oh my God. He's
he's not here to support it, but I mean, we don't need to try very hard to think about why he chose that.
No, we don't. I mean, it's just, he's incredible and I'll have a lot to say about him. So Matt, you should go for your number 2 or your number one. Sorry. Yeah. My
number 1 was Brother Voodoo. So as you probably figured out by our pre-talk here, for me, Gene Colan's art. I mean, I remember one of the first things that popped in my head was you saying he's jumping over a fence, and it's the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life.
That's right. It really is. I still stand by that.
That entire run was just full of thatness. And for me, it felt like, we said this, I think, a couple of times during the thing, but it felt like that was like a TV show. It was a movie. Like Gene Colan's art definitely adds to that visual feel. But for me, it just felt like this guy, and I said it back then, this guy could have had a 60 issue run. Like he should have had his own book. And in Earth 2 or whatever, where things are right, That guy had a book that went well into the early 80s, mid 80s. And it didn't even get crappy till like 83, right? Till like
Yep.
David Letterman appeared or something. Like you get to that point where it's like, Vincent
Yeah.
Price, what are you doing here in New Orleans?
The cast of Saturday Night Live. Yeah.
So yeah, I felt like he had the most legs. And I think we kind of walked away a little bit when we were starting to fall in love with Encanto. We're kind of like, well, maybe Jericho was a little aloof. Maybe he was a little cool, and Encanto has all this interior life and stuff. And so I think I felt I got a little sweet on him. I got a little crush on Encanto, and I kind of turned my back on Jericho a little bit. Oh, that's not right. That's not right.
Wow.
I think
So
that. He had the most legs, and he was the coolest, like heroic character type of guy. And I think that his coolness and aloofness was an interesting trait that would allow a good writer to dole out beats and character points and flashbacks and back history as you go, and kind of flesh him out and let him fall in love with that female love interest that was introduced at the end there. And just kind of, I think he was a full-on character in that way.
I mean, you're getting no argument from me. Like I said, I mean, especially between Ween and Colan's art. Yeah, it was so weird that you bring that up, because that is my biggest memory from going through those Brother Voodoo issues, is that Colan can just make the most mundane movement or action or scene just become so exciting. Like, I know when you say that, I can picture that panel in my fucking mind of him jumping over that wall and just being like, oh my God, that was the coolest thing I've ever seen. Yeah, it's I totally agree. I mean, yeah, I understand why you picked him as your number one.
So I think I know what yours is, but
oh yeah, you know what mine is, and
it's the Living
Jason,
Colossus.
It's the Golem. No, I did like the Golem. No, I feel like the Living Colossus is the one that we kind of made fun of the most. But
yeah,
okay, yeah, Jason Feinstone agrees. Encanto the Living Mummy is number one for me by far. Weirdly enough, like there wasn't a bit of hesitation for me. I feel like nostalgia kind of like roped you in at the end as much. Like, you don't think so? No.
Honestly, for me, the whatever that saga was where the elementals take over. What do they take over? Something.
Cairo. Yeah, Cairo. Yeah.
I felt like all the cool stuff that was hinted at in the beginning of the cosmic stuff, and I mean, he just became a tool, like in a man thing kind of way, like just kind of what went through the story and things were happening to him and around him. And so I felt like the love I had for him sitting on a park bench or him spending centuries trapped in a thing going mad, kind of got erased a little bit and washed out like with the shore. That is an action story. Honestly, that's what it was.
That is a totally valid point. For me, it definitely tarnished it. Like the whole Elemental saga, there were cool stuff in there. You know, we met Zephyr, of course. There's all the stuff that, that we did like. But yeah, the Elementals, it definitely, the living mummy quality went down from the beginning, from the Gerber stuff, and from sitting on the park bench. But for me, it was the backstory, the origin, and just the whole package, that when I really just tried to think about which one I enjoyed the most, kind of more, loving the action and the art, but, cerebrally just loving the origin. And yeah, I feel like Encanto's origin, you just can't beat it. It's so cool and so weird. And yeah, I mean, I know it's everyone's favorite, but honestly, that issue with Sad Mummy just walking around and just, it made me feel for him so much, like so much than almost any character I can in recent memory, to where I actually like got an emotional attachment to.
Yeah.
And felt like he understood me. So yeah, I mean, that was why I had to pick Living Mummy as my number one.
Yeah, and no one would begrudge you that. Another thing that I think that really made him stand out to me was, in addition to that, the interior life and the emotional aspect of his origin and his realization of his predicament. was that flashback to him doing his rite of passage into manhood and to assuming the chiefhood from his father. That was fucking amazing.
That was one of the best things we've covered on this podcast. That whole issue is just like, oh my God. I guess for me, like, yeah, getting goosebumps a little bit. That was the one.
I know, I just got goosebumps too. Fucking comics, man.
Living Mummy for me gave me more goosebumps than any other character. And these all were very, very cool characters that I feel so proud and glad that we took the time to go through these and to even just make, just even if a few other people kind of, followed us along and realized how great these were, then I love it.
Yeah. And I just have to qualify my choice here of switching these, or whatever, not having Encanto be the top was just, I totally see what you're saying and I totally agree. And for me, Encanto represents, there's an emotional appeal and a heart piece that I completely responded to. And maybe it was just the way I felt when I voted yesterday. Like I held it off to yesterday. I didn't look at anybody's results. I wanted to be clean and have some time away from the material. But honestly, I've been like in a kind of a 70s cinema place. And I just felt like instead of the heart and the interior life, I wanted fucking McQueen, fucking Alain Delon, like fucking just badass cinema hero. And Brother Voodoo gives that to me in spades. And so he just, at the time I voted, if I voted tomorrow, it'd probably be Encanto, right? It's just the day. But I was feeling more of a cool, calm, collected, fucking badass, aloof kind of hero thing. So it was a no-brainer for me at the time.
No, I mean, yeah, none of us are gonna argue that.
Do you want to talk about the data before we? We're gonna pull Jackson, our friend Jackson, in here and see if he wants to do a quiz with us and whatever. Glenn agrees with me, by the way. Glenn's handsome and smart, so
yeah. Well, Jackson agrees with me, so that is there is that. He is handsome and smart too, and donated a bunch of So yeah, do you just want to? We can talk about the breakdown for at least number one. I think that would be interesting.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. So for the number one favorite Bronze Age monster, the breakdown of people voting was the Encanto got 47.82%, Brother Voodoo got 39.13%, and Scarecrow got 13.04%. So, and not unlike you, like I had the Google form. The Google form was set to send me an email whenever anyone voted, just so I could keep track of it. So I watched this. I mean, I had mine. I was not swayed at all by the voting. I had mine, pretty concrete in my mind, but it was back and forth. It was back and forth between Brother Voodoo and the Living Mummy in all of the categories, honestly.
Yeah.
Like it was just those were the two. Those were the two that just kept going back and forth, back and forth. There was a time when, like, I don't know, maybe like 10 days ago or something, when I think it was Encanto winning all three.
Oh, really?
And I was just like, well, what the fuck are we going to do with that? I'm so glad you didn't look until the end, because I was like, oh, Matt's got to be freaking out right now. But no, you were not. Smartly, you did not follow it. Like, I don't follow sports, so I guess I followed this, and this was the nail biter for me. I was like, oh fuck, what's gonna happen? And actually, it was one more person had to vote and kind of vote a little differently to push it all over. And Jason Feinstone, you were the one. After you voted, everything was cool.
Hold on to that forever.
I know he's going to hold on to that forever, and I probably shouldn't have said it. But honestly, like once he voted, I was like, thank God for Jason Feinstone. Yeah.
So Matthew McConaughey's going to play him in the movie version in his mind. Swing vote.
Yep. Swing vote. He was. Oh yeah. So no, yeah.
Interesting.
Awesome.
Yeah. I knew I couldn't look at the data. I know that I'm too impressionable, right? I'm like the dude. Like, yeah, I hear Bush talking on playing on a Ralph's, and
this will not stand.
Yeah, so
this aggression,
no can do. I had to walk away from that and just be sequestered.
Yep.
So this is exciting. Okay, so let's our friend Jackson is hanging out in the waiting room. Let's pull him in and say, hey, Jackson.
Hi guys.
Hey Jackson.
Hey.
Hi guys. I know. Forgive me. I have a cold, so I'm a little throaty. So I'm gonna have that deep, sexy voice. But
that's what we prefer.
Sexy.
Yeah, we
I'm
That's
prefer
what
it.
it is.
I've been
Yeah.
looking forward to this darn live show for so
Yeah.
long.
You have. When I had to push it out a week, I felt bad, worse for you because I knew you were stoked.
Yeah, no, I mean, coming back, I was gone for a little while, and then I dived in and I binged this damn. I didn't binged all of Son of Satan, and so coming into the smorgasbord of this Bronze Age, it was so much fun. And then like I was like, suddenly I had a severe case of blue balls. I don't know why.
Mhm.
I bet. So how was taking Son of Satan just plowing through that? How does that
Oh, I
sit?
mean, like I had like this briefest moment where I was like really frustrated because I was like, was it Sonny Trinidad was the artist?
Mhm.
Hmm.
And I kept thinking like, man, I wish I had that opportunity where I could have been like, hey, let's find out how much the original art is. Why not?
Seriously, pre-COVID, not that much.
Really?
Yeah.
Now everything's 20 grand.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. No. Son of Satan was great. I didn't suffer any of that where you're like screaming at the podcast, I guess. I don't, where you're just like, no, no, you're wrong. But I think
So we were
I
right.
think because yes, no, you were always right, man. Don't worry about it.
Don't,
Never question.
no, don't question him.
But
Pretty,
no, Son
pretty
of
good.
Satan was a lot of fun because it was oddly so consistent, and like the comics were very consistent. Like there was some hiccups, but he never turned into a superhero, which was my biggest fear when reading that.
Yeah.
I've read some of his Defenders stuff, and earlier when Steve Gerber wrote him in Defenders, great. Later on, when he's got with him and Patsy Walker, it's more your romance tropes,
Mhm.
which whereas you want him like fighting demons and being a complete slapping. The one thing I have to say is like it's hard to root for a character like Son of Satan who slaps women.
Yeah, it is, right?
Well,
That was
I don't know
point
what
rough.
that out
I,
like
I
so
have to
much.
say. I have
That
to say,
that was rough.
maybe I'm a little woke. I
No.
apologize. It's just one of those things. It kind of it rubbed me raw, and I was like, I had
Yeah.
been so looking forward to Son of Satan for so long, and then
Yeah.
like this
Appreciate you
season,
taking down the Confederate flag before you called in. By the way, that's great.
Yeah.
yeah, my parents were both from the South, and
Yeah.
I've seen way too many Confederate flags. I just
Yeah.
but I have also seen Eastern Oregon, so
Yeah.
let's let let
Yep.
let let's just be fair. There's a lot of
Yeah.
people who are just like,
Yeah.
let's go, Brandon, in Eastern Oregon. Okay.
In
Yeah.
Southern Oregon as well.
Oh
So
goodness.
It's not
yeah,
all Portland and Eugene.
if there
It's a big
wasn't
fucking state.
if there wasn't bushes by my back window, I would see a trailer with a Confederate flag on it
Oh
right now.
gosh.
Oy, oy,
Jacob, I every time on the Discord you post about something about the library, I have nothing but deep heart for you.
Oh,
I
Mhm.
I
thank
can
you.
I cannot imagine living in such a red area because I am such a I am a die in the wool liberal,
Hmm.
and just the idea that you're surrounded by so much MAGA is just ugh, ugh, ugh.
It's rough, but honestly, like I've said before, the library is some kind of weird oasis or something that even people that might be very MAGA, very not really what we think, they go to the library and you can at least have some sort of common ground. And I went to a library conference like 2 weeks ago for OLA, for the Oregon Library Association, and everyone across the board was just like, we are dying, we are losing funding, we are having book challenges, like this is bad. Like it was like triage, like going to this thing. But weirdly enough, like we had our book clubs banned, by a very
Right.
right-wing commissioner, but they were protested and we basically got them back. We don't have that many book challenges, weirdly enough. I don't know why. I don't know how we've
I
kind of skated that. And we have money, not a ton of money, but we're not losing money.
I mean I don't know. That's awesome. That gives me hope.
Yeah,
That
I don't know. I don't know why we're doing good. Doesn't make any sense.
I applaud you. You're well done.
Oh,
Me
thank
too.
you. I appreciate it. That's
because
nice to hear.
I mean, I'm a plumber, and like I have to deal with everybody. Like
Mhm.
it was so refreshing. The other day, I met a nice Jewish family who were all super against you know who,
Mhm.
and it was so refreshing to be able to have that conversation where I didn't have to like go, oh, okay, yeah.
Yep.
Put on a mask.
Toilets are 1.28 gallons per flush, and Trump will fix that, right?
Yep.
Sure. Yeah,
Oh,
I've had to have the dead eyes because I'm like I have no poker face. I'm all smiles, but if I have to pretend, like the face just goes dead, and I'm like,
Yep.
yeah, uh-huh.
right.
Yeah.
You're
Uh,
disassociating, right?
oh my
You're just
gosh,
kind of
it's yeah.
what you got to
So
do, man.
to bring it back to Bam, I got to say this season has been one of my favorites. I've listened to all of them, of course, and everything else. Like this is the one where I've had no connection with any of. I mean, I've read a little bit of Brother Voodoo, but I never read Nakantu. I definitely didn't read Scarecrow, and I've gotten. And oh my gosh, the Golem and the Living Colossus, two things that I never would have read
Nope. Me neither.
if you guys hadn't like rolled it into this whole season,
Mhm.
and it has been so much fun. Like I mean, like gosh, what is the $6 million man,
Steve Austin.
Steve Austin.
Steve
Yeah.
Austin, yeah, like that
Also
whole
Anchor.
ongoing saga of who the hell is that guy.
And
Like
I love that we asked, we asked, was it Roy Thomas and
yes,
Jerry
yes,
Conway? And they're just like, I don't fucking know.
oh my gosh. And I love that you guys have this relationship with Giacchino because it's
Yeah.
like I was listening to a podcast called Art of the Score,
Mhm.
and they were talking about like all the stuff that guy has done, and I forget, like it's like, oh yeah, he did Rat Tattooey. Like just doing that alone would be like wow, like, and he's so down to earth, which is really I mean, I maybe because he's a composer, but the same token, it's like the fact that he's glommed onto you guys. And by the way, he's glommed onto you. You haven't glommed
Whoa.
onto him.
Yeah, that's cool. We are like real life friends. Like we just chat all the time, and
He's
it's pretty cool. He's a really fucking nice guy. We've met so many cool people through doing this show. And one of the many things I love about doing this fucking thing, talking about my favorite art medium, and then meeting so many people like you and Michael and everyone else. It is so fucking fun. This is the highlight of like what I do outside of like my fucking family, and then you guys are my second family. It's how I see it. So
Yeah, no, absolutely. And yeah, so many people that we met through Michael, who really is, I mean, we can't say it enough, is like the coolest and nicest and most caring guy. And then, we went down and hung out with him. We went to his wedding. He surrounds himself with the same type of people.
yeah,
Good.
Like everyone that we have met through him, we're just like, oh my God, you're also the best. Like you're
yeah,
also the most chill and nice. And so, and yeah, and then meeting everyone who's on the Discord, and everyone is so cool. So yeah, especially for me, I moved away from Portland, so I don't really have a IRL community anymore. And so having the Discord, having meeting everybody, having this show has been a lifeline for me.
And I would be remiss. I have
Yeah.
to throw this out there. Yeah, I'm sure you guys heard like there's a chance David Lynch might do a third season of Twin Peaks.
oh, fourth, like
Or fourth season.
Fourth
Yes,
season. Sorry,
yes,
fourth season.
yes.
Excuse me. I'm sorry.
Well,
But
I've been kind of following that, Matt. Have you heard? There's little things here and there, but I'm not convinced. But anywhere Lynch goes, I will follow.
he did
I
18
keep
episodes of a third season. Come on,
Yeah,
you have ample opportunity to hope.
yeah.
yeah.
Matt, what do you think of that?
Well, I have to drink because we mentioned Twin Peaks, but
Yep, that's a drink. Yeah.
I know that he's filming things and he's using code names for the projects, and they all sound like they're related to either Mulholland Drive or Twin Peaks. I
All
know
of
people
them.
saw he shut down a diner, and I know that Kyle MacLachlan will post a photo of him outside of the falls, out of what side, outside the hotel. Like, I'm not sure what's something's going on, but I'm not
Something's going
holding
on.
my breath.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I'm
who
not
knows?
either, but you're right. I mean, it would anything Lynch does, and if he decides to do more Twin Peaks, I will follow him off a cliff.
Yeah,
So
that,
And if
that,
it's done, I'm completely happy with what I have.
well,
me
of
too.
course.
Yeah.
But my favorite trope is that you guys almost always mention some kind of Twin Peaks trivia. I love
We
it.
do.
Yes, I have David Lynch art on my body.
It
I'm
amuses
obsessed.
me to no end. So
Yeah.
living in LA, there was a radio station. I can't remember what it was, but they would call in to David and he would tell them what the weather is from
Oh
the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
newspaper. And it was one of those things that was just so pure
Yep.
Lynch that it was like I mean, you could never not love like the randomness of it. The other thing they did was when they talked sports, they would call Timothy Oliphant. And Timothy
Nice.
Oliphant would just be like reading from the newspaper too. And my friend who was like, I don't really like Timothy Oliphant. I'm like, you know, that's who's doing the sports, right? And he's like, what? I'm like,
Aw.
yeah, no, it was great. And of course, the radio station was too cool to last, so it was fine.
Yeah.
But you know how it goes.
Deadwood?
Okay, so
Who doesn't like Deadwood?
Yeah, come on.
I know, but
Come
I guess they
on.
remembered him from what was it, Scream 2, where he was one of the killers.
Who remembers
Holy
him from
shit, I
Scream
totally-
2?
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's
Wow,
wrong.
okay.
No, he's great and he's great in everything. So, yeah.
Okay, Jackson, are you up for a quiz?
Let's do this. I hope I can embarrass myself, even though like when Glenn was doing it, I was like, oh come on, I know what this is. Although I did not remember the tier. I remember I can't remember the character's name, and I did actually think it was like I need to reread everything to prepare for this, and then
Okay.
I was like,
Are you
What is it,
ready?
Isaac
Let's
But I didn't reread it. That's right.
Abrahamson?
I'm sure it was Abraham because it was a little bit on the nose.
Abraham some. Yeah.
It was a little
Yeah.
on us. Jacob, before you start, Jason Feinstone says season 2 doesn't count at Twin Peaks. You will need to be re-educated. We're sending you to the re-education camps, courtesy of BAM. Okay,
There's
you're going to be
Jason.
fixed.
There's so much I have to say about that. I understand. Look, on the
totally get
surface,
But you're
Evelyn
wrong.
and James, little Nikki. I get it. I know
That
you
was
have an
bad.
argument. You have an argument that we can shoot down in like 90 seconds. So we need to have our own. We need to have our own sidebar personal Zoom call, and we will berate you. So prepare for that.
After the 35th viewing, it starts to really warm up.
It does. You know, you figure it out. But yeah, I'm glad you liked it, Jackson. Matt and I have been friends for 20 years. I'm pretty sure we talk about Twin Peaks every single conversation we've ever had. So, and that's not a big deal to us. That is just real life.
Yes, Josh,
Good.
the guy from the Crazies remake. Yes. All right, quiz time. Sorry, I've been
Okay, quiz
All right,
time.
I'm ready. I'm
All
ready.
right.
Here we go.
Who did Brother Voodoo battle in New York City? Kind of a
Oh.
forgettable villain.
Oh,
This is a hard one, Matt. That was a hard one.
Yeah.
oh, that was the Marvel team up, right?
Yeah, so I feel like, well, I mean, this is a
I
deep, this
I
is a
can-
deep dive of a hint. I'm like,
I-
it's what my record store was named.
Oh crap. Okay,
Stalkers
I'm
only.
gonna I'm gonna cry uncle on this one because I remember the issue and I also remember everyone being bummed out that Voodoo could like teleport, but I cannot remember. I remember like I remember the villain, but
It was the very forgettable villain Moondog.
oh my
Yes.
gosh, yeah,
Yeah.
there's no way I would have remembered that.
Yeah, I always
again,
would,
I should have
You're right.
reread everything.
yeah, I would have called him Moon Dark, which was another very forgettable Werewolf by Night film.
Oddly enough, if,
So,
if you pulled out Moondark, I would have remembered him because
He was
I
so forgettable. He was memorable.
Yeah, that was the thing. I'm just
Moondark.
like, I'll never forget
Oh
Moondark.
no! It goes back in even further. Like the
Yeah.
big Treasury edition, I got
Mhm.
that on Christmas, I think, in 1978, and that was my
Wow.
first introduction of Werewolf by Night. And Moondark was like this villain in it, and you know,
That's awesome.
you're like, I think I was like 5 years old. I was like, he was the coolest villain ever. Literally, I didn't know that it was Moondark. I mean,
Yeah.
instead, as a 5-year-old, you're like, oh my gosh, it's Moondark.
Yeah. Okay, you ready for question 2?
Yeah,
Okay.
let's shoot. Let's
All
give 'em
right.
2
What
for
is
2.
the country of origin of It, the Living Colossus?
Oh crap!
I randomized these questions. I think you just got a bunch of the hard ones all clustered.
It-
You,
It's
you
fine.
did get a bunch of the hard ones.
It the Living Colossus, my absolute favorite character.
Well, and you have to go back to
Ugh.
the Atlas era to really remember
these
this
are the-
technically.
Ugh.
He was a resurrected character from the Monster era.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. He
Big
was
monster.
illustrated by Jack Kirby. Okay. You know what? I'm actually fine being wrong about this because it wasn't my favorite.
It was Russia. His country of
Oh,
origin
that's
was
right. That's
Russia.
right. I remember. Okay.
Yes. Okay. Well,
It's fine. It's fine.
it's fine. It's
I'm
totally
very
fine.
happy to be wrong.
All right. One last one. I feel like you probably are
You
going to
got
get this
this
one.
one.
Who
Okay.
cursed Encantu with eternal life?
Oh, that was the that wasn't the Pharaoh. That was goodness gracious. That was I the guy who was reincarnated. Oh my god, I can't think of his
Yes.
name.
Yep.
You're
I
so
can't remember
close.
his name. I know who it is.
So close.
It
His
not the
name is
Pharaoh.
from the same root for the word kidney in the medical terminology.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. That's gonna that. Oh my gosh! Wow, I've
Now
got
you
it.
got it.
Yeah, the plumber is gonna know, like from the medical. You know,
Yeah.
kidney. Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Well, thank you for playing. Bye.
Yeah.
No, it was Nephris.
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 Nephris. Okay, I'm 3 for 3 for being wrong, but believe me, I enjoyed every single one
that's
of
something.
those things. Hey, you know what? A perfect score is still a perfect score.
You're right. Absolutely. That is the way. That's lemons out of lemonade right there.
Oh
Right.
my
I
goodness.
think
Well,
Gretzky
you know what?
said something
The
about
thing
that.
was, I actually wanted to make the joke. I was like, I can't. I wanted to on the Discord mention. I was like, I don't want to win a trade paperback.
Yeah,
Right,
that's true. That's true.
Because-
You don't.
I'm covered
Well,
there. Thank you.
Yes, you
yes,
are.
you were covered there.
Awesome.
We have some new designs I haven't opened yet in the shop, so I was going to give you something
Oh.
fun, but we'll see what happens. Okay.
I let's just say I drink from a BAM mug every day. I
Goddamn
have I have the Star God shirt, which I absolutely it's my one of my favorite shirts. My kids, my 2-year-old and my 4-year-old are just like, that's a cool shirt. And they're like, what is it? And I'm like, well, let me see. It's a werewolf.
So
who-
much explanation
He's
there.
he's an astronaut who brought a rock home, and then he went to the moon, and then turns out that when he wears the rock on the moon and then goes to another, blah 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 blah. You know, your
Honestly,
usual
That's a
thing.
sit down, son. I'm going to explain.
That's a sit down. But honestly, I think that only a 5-year-old, when you explain that to them, would be like, okay, yeah.
Oh no,
Yeah. No, I get
he
it.
thinks he thinks it's the
Yeah.
coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
He's like, wait. So it's a werewolf, which he knows because, of course, I'm me, and I've already exposed him to werewolves. In the most it's Scooby Doo. If there's a werewolf in Scooby Doo, they know the werewolves.
Mhm.
But like you explain, it's like no, it's a super werewolf, and then he goes,
Yeah.
a super werewolf. That's amazing. And I'm
I
like,
love
yeah, and I've loved Man Wolf's Star God form probably like since there was a comic book store in Redondo Beach called Galaxy Comics, and they had all these 50 cents comics, and if you could go back in time, you could have gotten everything.
Yeah.
Godzilla, Shogun Warriors, Power Man and
Oh,
Iron
wow.
Fist,
Wow.
everything, and all the Werewolf by Nights I had came from the 50-cent bin.
Damn.
And again, I got Marvel Premiere, and I had no idea who the heck this was. Oddly enough, though, I did have the issue of Amazing Spider-Man that was the second part of the
Oh,
two-parter with Man-Wolf. So I always started with the Man-Wolf going at Spider-Man with no clue of like. And I was a little kid. I got that when it was first published. It had no cover after a while, and it was one of those things like, when you're that young, it's so ingrained. And so I discovered you guys because of Man-Wolf. And I don't even know how it popped up, but when I was like, oh, there's a podcast where they're going to talk about Man-Wolf, what are the chances? And so I've got to follow it because I know it leads to Star God and also the She-Hulk stuff, which is absolutely bonkers.
Yep.
Yeah, you're our kind of people.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. No,
That is the stuff.
like, and then the fact that you guys have the same liberal tendencies that I have, it was just like, oh my okay. So I can listen to this, and I'm sure you guys have had the same thing where you're following somebody or something, and then they go off that precipice, and you're like, fuck.
Yep.
Bye.
Happens many times.
God damn it.
It's like there's only two genders. Oh,
Yeah. And you're like, man.
Why can't we be all inclusive, guys?
Yeah.
It's just like, whatever. It's one of those
our
things.
friend Mark Niven says that he gets some weird looks when he wears his Man-Wolf and Son of Satan shirt. I do too, Mark.
Yep,
and I don't
do too.
care.
Yeah, I don't care.
I wear them with pride.
Yeah, damn right.
And before like you guys got to move on, but I
Yes.
have to say my absolute favorite cover of the entire season was the Gil Kane "It the Living Colossus" one that you made out of a
It's
shirt.
it's a
That's
hell
my
of a
favorite.
cover.
That is
21.
by far like that's one of those times where
Iconic.
you would buy that book for
Hmm.
Yeah.
that cover.
Yeah.
And then inside you'd be like, okay.
Yeah,
But at
it's
the same
fine.
time, you close the book and you look at the cover and you're like, it's still worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gil
No,
Kane was really
100%.
fucking good at that, at separating boys from their quarters.
But
Yeah.
guys, thank you. I love you both. I
Love you.
really appreciate all the work you guys do, and it's so much fun to be part of, even a little bit tangentially about any of this stuff. And
Oh,
I love your hearts and everything. So thank you.
Love you.
yeah. I
Thanks
love
for
you too,
hopping on.
Jackson. This is great. So glad we
Thanks
got
for
to meet
donating
you.
all the creature commandos, by the way,
Yeah.
too. That's
And
Hey,
way too generous.
and
that
sending
was
us
my
awesome
pleasure.
stuff.
And yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It will continue. I've found myself in a nice place where I no longer want things like I used to. I'm not a big collector, and being able to take that like excess income and share it with you guys, and then share it with the community, which I'm so happy that I get that opportunity, and I hope everybody gets to read along with us the Creature Commandos, because this is another one of those ones I've always wanted to read it,
Hmm.
and I've known it existed. It's one of those sweet spots where it's like, oh yeah, World War II commandos who are turned into monsters to terrify the Nazis. Yeah, how can I not be? I'm down with that. The only
It's
thing is,
perfect.
I was always a Marvel zombie,
Me too.
so
Hmm. Yeah.
that's the only reason it stopped me. So here we go, guys. I am so
All right.
looking forward to the next season.
All right.
Awesome.
Take care, brother.
All right. See you, Jackson.
Bye,
See
boys.
ya. That was lovely.
That was
Love saying hi
awesome.
to our friends.
Yeah, that was so cool. Jackson's so great and is such a big supporter of the show. Yeah, we love him.
All right, let's move on to the gone too soon category.
Okay, so honestly, so this was never a question for the majority of people, unless you're totally gonna just go out of left field. First off, what's your pick? Or do we draw for this
You got to draw
too?
somebody.
Okay, we're gonna draw somebody. Okay, all right.
By the way, while you're doing that, I just saw a pic of Glynis Oliver, whatever her name is now,
Mhm.
at a show. So she's out there going to comic shows doing stuff. So I think we need to talk to her. That's all.
I think we need to talk to her as well. Okay, so for the Witch Monster Was Gone Too Soon, we have drawn Matt Harvey.
Nice.
Nice.
Matt Harvey has joined the pack recently.
Oh, sweet. Oh, that's so great.
Yes.
So yeah,
And,
and Matt Harvey chose what, spoiler, the majority of people chose, which Monster Was Gone Too Soon, and that was the Scarecrow. No argument.
Whoa.
I know.
Really?
Whoa, serious? The greatest character with 2 issues? No.
Yeah. Matt, please email bronzeagemonsters@gmail and let me know what shirt you would like and where to send your Creature Commandos trade. Matt has great taste. I'm pretty sure this is Matt Harvey, the musician that I'm pretty sure he's the musician I know of. So if that's him, if he's the well-known musician, that's even cooler.
That's very cool.
So good choice there, sir. Mine was also Scarecrow.
Mine too.
So it's a threefer. It's
Yeah.
a sweep. People might be listening and scratching their head thinking, wait a minute, were you just saying Brother Voodoo had a 60 issue run in him? What are you talking about? I just feel that Scarecrow, reading the scriptment from Scott.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And just the hints of like alluding to this battle, and you're going to find out how Kalumai lost that horn. And there was just so much. It was just right there. I didn't need more than 12 to 18 issues. I think it would have probably withered up and blown away after like 12 issues, a year or two. But it was so rich, and we were so spoiled by getting something that was meant for the Curtis Mags and a little bit older aged. And then like, fuck it, let's just put it in a comic and see if the comics code bulks. And apparently they didn't, or they didn't care. And so we got an amazing character who I can't say enough good things about. I I told you guys all this stuff. I picked one of these issues up. I think at Marvel Spotlight 26 was the one I bought out of a long box in 1985 or something like that for $2. And, you know, I was probably grousing about the cost. And, but I stared at that goddamn thing constantly.
Yeah.
You?
Yeah, no. Oh yeah, well that's mine as well, of course. Like Scarecrow, 100%. Because yeah, I mean, as you know, a lot of my favorite stuff was in the Scarecrow, and so yeah. But you're right. It was reading the blog, it was reading the treatment, it was seeing what could have happened, where it would have gone, and then just to have that rug completely pulled out under us was devastating. So yeah. The majority of people agreed with us on that one as well. It was 65% of people chose the Scarecrow as the Bronze Age monster who was gone too soon.
Chose wisely.
Yeah, wise choices. And I think the rest was pretty much Brother Voodoo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So totally agree.
You know what? I don't disagree with that. Like, I think at the time, I think we were pretty high on Encanto around issue 11 of Supernatural Thrillers. And I think that by the time we got to issue 15, we were all kind of like, okay, maybe this didn't have all the legs we thought it did.
Yeah, exactly. But the Scarecrow would have had a MJ. Thanks for staying up, MJ. I know it's really late where you're at. MJ says the real Scarecrow was the friends we found along the way.
It is indeed. MJ, I was hoping you'd stay up super late and say, hey.
We were talking about it before we went on. We're like, oh, is he gonna stay up? Oh, we'll see. Yeah.
Well, if you feel like answering 2 a.m. quiz questions, hop on and we'll get you in the show here.
Yeah. So do you want to go forward, or we have someone else in the waiting room? Do you want to?
We have someone in the waiting room. Let's do that before we change here. Let's say hey to Letty. Letty.
Hey, Letty.
Hello. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes, I can hear you. You sound great.
Oh, great. I was encouraged by Glenn and Jackson to hop in, so
we're so glad.
I'm not sure about the quiz.
You don't have to do the quiz. You can just say hi.
Yeah, the quiz is optional.
Yeah, because I listen to all the episodes, everything, but my brain just goes all blank.
That's okay. It's a little later there for you as well. So you have you
not that much. MJ is for sure. There is like
yes, that's true.
More late for him. For me, it's like 11 p.m. So
yeah. Well, fine. You're one of our favorites. You've been supporting the show for so long, and you've been such a great person to know on Discord, on our watch-alongs. Like you're so I'm so glad you were able to join us for this. Compared to other seasons that you'd listened to, is there anything you liked best, or any thoughts you had on this season on a whole?
First of all, I really appreciate it. I'm feeling really glad to be a part of this community, this pack that we are in. And I really liked this season, mostly because of this buffet. Like each week having a different character, different stories, even though some of them were pretty short, like the Scarecrow. But, just meeting these characters that I would never, I would never ever know them because if I didn't follow you guys. So I'm really happy to have met all of them.
Well, I think a lot of people kind of have echoed that to us. Like I didn't even know about this character. I wouldn't know who they are if you guys didn't choose to cover it because they're pretty obscure. So I'm glad that we got to shine a little light on the weird corner of 70s Marvel comics and
spread the word like.
Yeah, but you're right. Yeah, it was cool because Werewolf by Night, it wasn't the most well-known character until Michael made it special. And Man-Wolf, people did know. People knew Man-Wolf, but a lot of these characters that and Matt came up with the lineup, and a lot of these I'm like, the Living Colossus, never heard of that. I have no idea. Never read the Golem stuff. So yeah, I was. I think both of us hadn't read a whole lot of any of that. So it was, yeah, we liked it too. We were along for the ride, and we loved learning about these rare characters, obscure characters.
Yeah. Well,
Yes.
hey, Letty, before we let you go, I just want to say that I also have missed you. I've got so accustomed to seeing you every Sunday night to watch a really weird movie with me and Jacob and my wife
Yeah.
and everybody else. So I do want to resume that soon. Hopefully, you'll be around for those on the Discord channel because I miss seeing you and saying hey. And Renee
Yeah,
misses you too.
definitely.
She always tells me to say hi to Letty. You're
Yeah.
the first person she says to say hi
Yeah.
to.
That's sweet. So, like, yeah, of course I will always be in the watch alongs only if something happens, like don't know anything, but the watch alongs are an important part for me for the weekend.
Us too.
Most of them are on Sunday nights, and like on Monday I have to wake up early. But I really don't care because
Yeah.
if it's for fun, like it doesn't matter if I will sleep late. I'm
Yeah.
just here for the fun to see you guys, seeing everyone else.
Well, it's
Like,
funny you say that. So when I saw that, and you recently graduated college, which we were all so happy for,
Congratulations.
and yeah, super
Thank you.
congratulations on that. But when I saw that, I was like, oh, thank God. Okay, we didn't totally ruin. She still graduated, even though she stayed up late every Sunday, and it didn't affect the grades enough to keep you from graduating. So that was a load off, Letty. Yeah.
Might have helped.
no problem. Like, my classes were all at night, so
Okay. All right. Cool.
you know what? But I was working at the time because now I'm unemployed. But this will soon change, hopefully.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, didn't mess at anything. Like
Oh, good.
I did my best to graduate. So yeah, I'm
You
really
did it.
happy with it, with what happened.
Yes. Awesome.
Well, congratulations, and we'll see you again soon. And thanks for calling in.
Yeah, like again, congrats you guys. Like I always say this and I always say this forever and ever, but I'm just really glad that I watched that Werewolf by Night special and followed Michael Giacchino on Twitter and saw him posting about you guys, and I was like, okay, I'll give these guys a shot, listen what they have to say, and well, here we are.
Yes.
Here we are.
Oh, we're so glad you stuck with us. We're so glad
Yeah,
that you're
glad
part
you're
of the
part of the
pack
family.
now. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Take care, Letty.
All
We'll
right.
see you in a watch along soon, okay?
Night, Liddy.
Yeah, good night.
Good night. All right. Let's move along here.
Okay, we're
to hear
moving
from Letty.
along. Yeah, absolutely. So, okay, so our next one is favorite supporting character. Okay, I'm going to draw. Okay.
I didn't linger too long on this one.
Yeah. I no one did. Well, some of us did. Okay, Jackson. Jackson T. Overstreet.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. All right, he's going to get himself another shirt.
All right. Who did he like the most as supporting cast?
Let's see who he liked the most. Okay, so he's on my side here. He chose, let me just double check to make sure. He chose Harmony Maxwell. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, so he's a good man. And yeah, so obviously we'll wait to get to yours. I mean, yes, we love Harmony, but man, I don't want to spoil anything. Who did you
I think
choose?
this is a three for
I think it
Harmony
is
Maxwell.
too. Yeah, I chose Harmony Maxwell too. Oh my
Yeah.
God, like she charmed us. Like Zephyr had her hooks in us, like for many reasons. And yeah, but yeah, the little bit we were exposed to Harmony Maxwell, that's two issues. And we were given so much color of her background and her story that had us so many like she was in street fights. She's an art critic. Like this is crazy. And she's just quipping and fighting the baddies like no problem, like nobody's business. Yeah. Harmony Maxwell all the way.
The quipping won me over. Can I tell you my lizard brain like touchstone for her. She's Lacey Overall from Caddyshack. That's like what she's like
Oh
to me.
yeah,
It's like
yeah.
I like going to bullfights on acid,
Yeah.
skiing. Like
Yeah.
she's just fucking the total fucking package. Like
Yeah, she
she's
is.
smashing a cult member over the head with like a lamp or something like that while making a fucking joke. Like
Yeah.
who else is even a candidate for best supporting character after that?
No. And yeah, so she was number 2. So the majority, I know it was wild. It was close, but but Zephyr came out on top for the voting for everyone. And I get it. I mean, obviously she's our second. Like Zephyr is amazing and yeah, made us feel again. So
Yeah, I mean, in addition to being incredibly sexy, so appealing to the nethers, she also, I liked her story, right? That, I mean, I was frustrated with the fact that she was a serving wench and they pulled her up from obscurity and gave her these great powers. And then she turned against them, which is where she gets interesting, right? And fights these 3, she's outnumbered 3-1, and she had humble beginnings. So like, I love her on top of her being sexy as fuck. But like, that element of her I loved, but like, yeah, I mean, I couldn't beat Harmony, man. She's Lacey
no,
Overall.
Harmony all the way. Okay, should we go to the next one?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Jackson, let me know what shirt you want, and you got it.
Okay, so that was favorite supporting character. We're going now on to favorite villain. Favorite villain.
Oh, wait, you know what? We have someone in the waiting room. Actually, let's pull in. Let's pull in friend Benjamin Potter here and say hey to him before we jump on.
This is what I chose.
Hello, sir.
Hey.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Just a beautiful day. Got some shade on the porch. Loving
Where
it.
are you?
In Portland, just a foster pal.
Wow, it's my old neighborhood and Matt's old neighborhood.
Oh man.
Yeah. No, we're all
right by where O'Malley's used to be.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no. Alicia and I, last place we lived was like 79th and Glad. 79th and Schiller is where we lived. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well,
so
Park was my front yard for 8 years.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, we the Mercado, like everything great about Foster Pal. Foster Pal's my favorite neighborhood in Portland, always has been.
Yes.
And it's been the secret weapon underdog, and it's maybe not that anymore, but it was for very long time. So
it's I don't want to jinx it. I under your breath, you're like, this is like the last neighborhood not to get gentrified in Portland.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I just got my fingers crossed.
No. And I've said it multiple times before. There's a reason for that because because Foster Powell was all industrial stuff. I used to go there a lot with my dad when I was a kid.
Oh,
and
that's so cool.
So many of those sites are basically Superfund sites. And so it's now suddenly becoming profitable finally for developers to come in. But it was a long time when we lived in our polluted filth and loved every minute of it.
Yeah, you always know you're in for a rough time when you get like a expensive children's toy store, an outdoor sporting goods store, and like a bar that only serves like a kind of drink, not just like a drink.
It's not good. It's not good.
Yeah.
So hopefully, I don't know, give me another 10, 20 years and then I'll figure shit out.
Yeah.
But I've been here over 10 years. I lived behind the Taco Bell at 50th and Powell.
Oh, hell yeah.
5 years before then. So
yeah.
Boston Powell's just home.
Walking distance to variety shop. So yeah.
So you should I live out in Happy Valley now, right? So I go out Sunnyside with Jacob. Who's a lifer here. It's like being with your great grandma. This was almond farms. That was a dairy.
It is.
The
Matt makes fun of me.
To come right here
every single time we go up Sunnyside, and Matt still is my friend for some reason. But I'm like, that was all orange groves back when I was small.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love your guys' show.
So what'd you think of this season?
I loved it. A buffet. I'm from Indiana, and a buffet always is going to sound good to me anyway. But a buffet with this kind of content was fucking perfect. Diving in and out of several different characters who some I knew about, some I really didn't know nothing about. Like some I'd seen on covers for the last 3 decades at stores, being like, I'm not gonna get this Colossus book. I already got my Colossus that I like on the X-Men. But hearing you guys talk about it, I was like, this is pretty fucking great.
It's pretty
I
great.
love
He's the underdog, but you know we
Oh,
still
yeah.
have love for It the Living Colossus. Yeah, it was fun talking to Roy about that one too.
Oh,
you know,
definitely.
just how it was. Yeah, just so weird. Just he went through the whole thing of just like Theodore Sturgeon's It, which was Supernatural Thrillers #1, was the adaptation of Theodore Sturgeon's It, and just the whole thing. But yeah, basically it's just like, oh, we got smart, repurpose that shit. Let's just, you know, we need our own It
stuff all the time.
Yeah, we need our own It, so we don't give Theodore Sturgeon the $50 he would have charged us.
Right.
It's always shocking when I hear like
It's
they're
so
just like,
cheap
oh yeah,
of them.
we got the rights, and it's just like, what'd you pay for the rights of Conan? Couple $100.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. for
Stan
real.
groused the entire
Yeah,
time.
it Stan's like,
Philip.
no. Roy's like, okay, I'm gonna take it out of my own pocket. Those
Yeah.
$200.
Stan's being like, guys, you guys are bringing lunch from home. We're not eating out for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah,
We bought
no.
rights to Conan for so much money.
Bullpen's gonna be sad for a couple weeks. No donuts.
I mean,
Yeah.
when I think of It, man, for me, like it's always going to be just your shirt made me think of this is like the fucking Capitol Records building, like fighting on top of the Capitol Records building.
How
There's
cool
nothing
was
else.
that?
We got
That was awesome.
That
That
was
was something I wouldn't
totally
have gotten
worth
when I
it.
was a kid reading it. But now it's like, kind of miss Tower Records being a thing.
Ugh, right?
Yeah.
Ugh,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. The getting to look into bits of the past, but like through multiple sets of eyes with different comics, that was a really cool way to do it. And it made me think of how you could apply that to this genre, but also other genres if you were going to do a season about comics, and like what horror stuff you could do after the 70s by hodgepodging it buffet style. But
Yeah, it was
I loved
a
it.
weird sort of alchemy. Like I say, you know, Matt chose the characters and just
You did
kind of,
such a
you
good
know,
job
we
on that,
talked
Matt.
about that. And yeah, there
Thank
was
you.
weird alchemy that happened here with just the combination of all these
Yeah.
characters. And
Oh,
like
yeah.
Letty said before, you know, and I think I'm just like, wait, so we're going by your insane like chronological thing, like why aren't we talking about all the issues together? Like we should just talk about the two scarecrows. And you were
Oh,
like,
yeah.
no, that's not what we do. And I was like, all right, well, I guess, but then it was perfect. It was perfect that way.
Yeah, I
And-
loved zigging and zagging the way you guys did.
It was great. It became alchemy. And you're right. In the end, once we went through all of that, you step back and you have a weird picture of the 70s that you might not have gotten through any other viewing.
That's definitely what I was going for. I mean, that's why I defer to the chronological approach. Like, it's just kind of like, because it was so fluid. Like, it's like magma, right? I mean, Stan has stepped down. He's doing the Hollywood thing. So Roy stepped up, and like the magazines are happening, and the monsters are selling really hot, and they're getting cold. Like, it's fun to see that play out in real time over one season. So like, I think it's the only way I would have done it. I think
It
if we'd
worked
done it another
perfectly.
way, it would have been too patchwork and too spotty.
Yeah, I wouldn't have wanted it any other way. I loved how you did it, Matt.
Yeah, it's perfect.
It
Well, thank you.
made the
And
picture in my
if-
brain so much richer that way. Like,
Good.
Understandable,
That was
too.
the idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you or anyone else has ideas for like how we could approach any other horror stuff or whatever else, we love to hear suggestions.
oh, cool.
So, you know, anytime you wanna chime in.
Ooh.
How do you feel about quiz questions?
Well, is this a PG podcast? Can I smoke? Because I feel really nervous
Yeah.
answering.
Smoke?
You can
Okay,
smoke
sweet.
whatever you want.
And I
Yeah.
did a little bit of that before too, because it got hot
Okay.
today. But
Yeah.
yeah, I could do some quiz questions. I could go a perfect score over 3, or the other way. See how it goes.
Okay.
Okay.
Matt, it's your turn.
It is my turn. Okay, you ready for the first one?
Mm-hmm.
Whose Atlas era pencils were recycled throughout the Living Colossus's run?
Oh, I knew this yesterday. I
So
know.
they reused issues for the early 60s
Yeah,
and added new narration boxes to them to repurpose
I think
them
it was
throughout.
that guy who he had to change his last name because of the comics code, but it was Don Hell, known as Don Heck.
no,
Maybe.
not Don Heck, but
he's known
you know,
he's known for big monsters.
yeah, he is a big monster guy and a
Oh, is it Jack Kirby?
Yeah, it's Jack Kirby.
It is
Oh,
Jack
yeah,
Kirby.
duh. Why was
Yeah.
I
I'm giving you
thinking Don
that.
Yeah.
Hints are okay. So you got
Yep.
one.
Hell? All
Okay.
right.
What
Thank you,
was
thank
the name of the leader of the cult of Kalumai? The human leader of the cult of Kalumai. This is a tougher one.
Oh, I should know this because I wrote it down in my submission sheet.
We'll paint
It
you the
wasn't
picture.
Giovanni, it wasn't Derek.
He was at the auction. He wanted that painting.
He ended
Got
up in
to
a
get
tree.
through that door.
Got to do it. Yeah, he ended up just spread like no other human has
Yeah,
ever been
yeah,
spread
yeah,
in a tree.
Was
Until Evil Dead.
Gregory? Gregory?
Gregorovic, that is correct.
Gregorovic?
Yes,
We'll give you
I
nice.
that.
knew it was something
Gregorovic.
Russian.
Yeah,
It wasn't
All right.
Rasputin. I knew that.
yeah,
You're
perfect.
2 for 2 right now with some help from us because
Thank
I
you,
told you we're
thank
going to be
you.
very generous judges.
Appreciate the
Third one.
generosity.
How many issues of Strange Tales did the Golem appear in? I
4.
got this one wrong. Like when I wrote it and I was like, it's probably this. And I was like, wait, really?
I said 4 too.
Wait, I'm guessing there's a reprint
Just
of
gave him a
5.
hint.
It couldn't have been 7. It couldn't have been 13.
No.
That would have been that's an
Much shorter
amazing.
lived than you
Amazing.
think.
That's an amazing and scary world where the
I'm
golem
guessing it
got
was
13.
9 or 8.
Matt, give,
I would have been
Okay.
hanging from a noose if it had been 9.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
6?
what's your guess? You've
All right,
already
my
won a
final-
prize.
final
You're doing
answer.
2 for 3.
Yeah, you've won a
Final
Final
prize.
answer is
8.
it's 3.
It's 3.
3. Oh my god.
Astonishing
All right, cool.
Tales. Sorry, Strange Tales 174, 176, and 177. But you got 2 right with help from the judges, and as the cocktails go on, we get more generous.
Yeah,
so
we
you've
do.
won a prize, sir. Please
Thank
let
you.
me know where to send your Creature Commandos. Do you have the Creature Commandos trade?
I actually do. When you guys were announced it
Okay.
way early on, I
We can
picked
hook you
them
up with a shirt then.
Yeah, we'll hook
So
you up
No
with a
email
shirt.
me at bronzeagemonsters@gmail.com and we'll get you hooked up with a shirt, okay?
Oh, thank you so much. Fuck yeah.
Awesome.
Matt,
Hey,
I
thanks
wanted
for
to tell
being
you.
willing.
I was gonna leave this weird voicemail about how my kid spent all his money ordering some shit from this comic that you guys told him to get, and it was some crap called Grit, and now he was like in debt. And this guy I work with, who I was gonna get him to help me out, but it didn't work out. Jim Kelso.
Oh, what?
What? You know Jim
You work
Kelso?
with
He
Jim?
said he said he knew you.
Yeah,
Oh my
you know
God, I
Jim
love
Kelso.
Jim.
He and I work at the coffee place together. But,
Oh, that's
Oh
awesome.
my God.
he's-
Give him a
he's
hug
great
for me.
people.
I miss that guy.
Yeah, please
he's-
say
he's
hello
awesome.
from both of us. We love him.
we'll do.
Oh my
we'll
God.
do.
Yeah.
My band used to play with him in Eugene in the early 90s. Like I've known Jim for fuck 30 years now. Oh my God, I'm old.
Jim Kelso's a good person
What
to know
the
for 30
fuck?
years.
Yeah, yes.
Solid guy.
Ugh.
Solid guy.
All right.
And he always plays great
Well,
music.
now I'm
every day.
depressed.
Yeah, thanks, Ben.
Well,
Let's just rush through the rest of the show.
I hope
I feel like that
cocktails help.
Mr. Show sketch. My
Yeah.
life.
Yeah. Now this is good. So yeah, I'm so glad you jumped on. And for
Thank you
anyone
so
that
much.
for anyone that's just listening, Benjamin's wearing a great X-Ray Specs shirt that
Yes.
yeah, you gotta love. Oh, that's awesome.
She's
Fucking
wonderful.
A, man.
She
Yeah.
is wonderful.
You guys
Email me.
Yep.
I will. I
I'll
will.
hook you up with a shirt.
Sweet. Stay bronze, guys.
All right.
All right,
Good to
stay
see you.
bronze.
Stay bronze. Well, that's nice. I didn't know he was a local boy.
Yeah, that's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you ready? We're going on. We were at third. We were at favorite villain, I think, right?
Villain, yeah.
Okay,
Yes,
so favorite villain, we got Chris Mingsdale.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, we know
He
that
follows
guy.
us on Instagram.
Yeah. Okay, so Chris, his favorite villain. Let's find that. His favorite villain was the Black Talon.
Bye, Josh. Black Talon. Okay. I'm going to tip my hand here. Mine's Black Talon.
Yeah, mine's Black Talon too. Everyone's is Black Talon.
My
Black
runner-up
Talon-
was Kalumai.
Yeah, my runner-up was Calamai too, which was everyone else's runner-up. We were we're hive-minding this shit on favorite villain because, yeah, I mean, holy shit, the Black Talon. Like, I don't even know what you can say, Matt. What you have a lot to say, I'm sure. You're a Brother Voodoo guy. Try to, give a condensed version on why the Black Talon is fucking rad.
I mean, for me, it was honestly 70% design. I mean, people laughed at his chicken feet
Yeah.
costume.
Yeah,
But I thought he looked fucking amazing.
he
I think
did.
it's one of those things where it's just like, I think we might have talked about this at the time, like where like it's so absurd that it crosses over into uncomfortable, like in a Blue Velvet kind of way, where it's like,
does.
oh, he's just a guy wearing a chicken costume and he's trying to like slit her throat and drink her blood or give it to a god. Like
Yeah.
that's way creepier than just a guy in a black robe.
Super creepy.
So like I think he had talons, like he had chicken talon gauntlets
Mm-hmm.
and chicken glove boots on. It was bananas. And like, you know, I love, I want to say Desmond Drew was his real name.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the whole reveal at the end of like, I mean, it was obviously like he had that little goatee, like when he went and talked to him at the Headsman's Hill or whatever that mansion was
Yes.
called, the Hangman Hill or something like that. But like, you know that he's not a good guy. I mean, he was kind
No,
of a
he's not a good
sinister,
guy at all.
veiled whatever. But like when it's revealed that he's Mama Limbo's son, like, and the fiend in the fog was, or whatever that was I mean, it was just, I love that stuff. Like,
Yeah.
maybe it's also weighted a little extra hard because like Baron Samedi and Dumbala were both imposters. They weren't truly the Loa. They were impersonating the Loa and doing nefarious things. So, and the AIM thing, don't get me fucking started on AIM.
Don't even bring it up.
Like, so just having a proper villain who was fucking horrifying, even if he didn't make it out of the arc alive, I loved.
Yeah. No, same. I mean, yeah, from his design to his, you know, true evil nature and being the closest to actual voodoo than, yeah, like Baron Samedi or Dumbala. And yeah, Black Talon, just design, everything. Yeah, just unreal.
Note here, Mark, that Black Talon there's two Black Talons. Our Black Talon that we met was brained by a falling crucifix. That is a different person with the same moniker in the Deadpool. Just want to clarify that.
Mm-hmm.
There was some confusion earlier in the season. Cool. So that pretty much shook out, like you said, like it was basically heavily weighted towards Black Talon, then Calamai, and then it fell off pretty hard with minorities there.
No, absolutely.
What was like the third most popular villain?
The third I think was Nephris. Yeah, it was definitely Nephris. Yeah, the Elementals kind of close, almost a tie between Nephris and the Elementals. No, Nephris had one more than the Elementals. So it was the Elementals, and Granitor was the fifth with one vote.
I did toy with him. I'm not gonna lie, man. One of the first places I went to was looking up the gargoyle people, and like I really like that character who had the trench coat on and he was in disguise, but he looked like the jackal from ASM. I don't know. That was
so
amusing
funny.
to me.
Yeah. All right.
Cool.
Let's move on.
All right.
Okay. Next one is most monstrous moment. Pulling from the bucket. We now have Jason Feinstone.
Oh boy.
Here we
He's gonna
go.
Paint himself as the hero of the evening.
He is. He's the hero in our minds.
He
Okay, let's see. He is my hero, actually. So, okay. I love it. We go to the very bottom of the list because Jason was the very last one to vote. Thank God. Okay. All right. This is a good one. So Jason chose as his most monstrous moment in Kantu brutally murdering that poor lion in front of its family. It's
like a reverse Disney moment.
It is. Oh man, so funny. Yeah, you're right. That was a brutal moment. That was also very funny to look back at it like that.
Okay,
that's great. Okay, Matt, what's yours?
I think I'm the only person that chose this, so I was kind of pleased with myself once I looked at the data. Brother Voodoo beats cult members to death with a flail made of broken cross and shackles.
No, yeah, you are the only one that voted that.
Tales of the Zombie number 6.
That is a goddamn good monstrous moment, though. I have to agree with you.
Yes, if you folks forgot, that is when he is tied to an inverted crucifix when he's supposed to be watching, what was Laura Lee?
Yeah, he was supposed to be watching Laura Lee Tate, yeah.
being sacrificed, and he manages to break free. He breaks off the ends of the cross and is wielding them like kung fu weapons and just braining cult members. That will never leave my mind. That was the fucking cool. I mean, I had some other stuff. Okay, I'll tell you my runners up. The golem speaks. Remember that last panel of that issue when he swims them to an island, and then like, wow, I wonder if he ever thinks anything, and then he's like, danger, danger. That was my second one, and my third one was Encanto takes a break in Central Park.
Oh yeah, well that was my number 2 for sure. But again, I had this from the very beginning. I was kind of just going through reading the issues and stuff, and reading Dead of Night 11 with just the brutal death of Gregor Rovic, just like in a way that I'm just like, I've never seen something like this in a comic from this era. Like I've House of Mystery, all those DC comics, they came close to this, but not this brutal, and not the way that it was depicted, the utter brutality of it. And lots of other people chose that.
Oh God, yes. Do the stats, because that one was like the overwhelming favorite moment, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that's when we don't have our graph on, but I would say at least half. I'd say it's about 50% of the votes went for, like who said, Scarecrow's Evil Dead tree moment, which I think is what Russ called it.
Yes, Russ nailed it. Infamous moment in horror history. I mean, what was Evil Dead, 1980, 1981? People still talk about that scene. It was so disturbing. They remade it in the sequel remake. It's tree fuck ups are fucking weird.
Yeah, they're super weird. I do love that. Pat Zvek just said Encanto teleports to space. I was like, yeah. That was in my top 3 actually.
For me, it wasn't in my top 3, but that was a moment that I definitely considered. Like for me, that was when I realized, like, okay, Gerber's off the book. This is gonna suck. All honesty, you and I were not super hot on Isabella at the time.
No, we
he
weren't.
Was the writer who immediately took up the reins, and to have him teleport, fight mudmen on a tiny planetoid, like I was like, holy shit, we might be in okay hands here.
Yeah,
and he wrote the Central Park thing, right? Isn't the Hamlet moment Isabella?
I thought so. Yeah,
I think it is. So
I don't know. We'll check on that.
That was a great moment.
Yeah, it was a great call, Pat.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. So
this is our final one.
Oh yeah.
This is our final one. All right. This is for favorite cover.
Okay.
Grab 2. All right. And for our favorite cover, name we drew was Jesse McFerrin.
Jesse McFerrin.
We say
there's a star god there.
That's a star god there. We say his name every week. Okay. So let's go to, let's see, Jesse McFerrin is 21.
Okay, I'm going to pull this into the stage here so we can pull this up.
Okay.
What is it?
Jesse McFerrin, Strange Tales, number 169.
Okay, that's an easy one to get to.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oops. Doot.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's classic, man.
Yeah, that is as classic as it gets.
So this is the introduction of the character. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jacob. Romita created the visual look of this character entirely, right?
Correct.
With Roy or with Lynn?
I thought with Lynn.
I forgot. Okay. So this is Romita pencils and inks. Highly iconic in my opinion. Great fucking scene, the airport tarmac scene.
So good.
Remember how confused we were, how tickled we were 2 issues later when this actually circles back around, and the first 2 issues were a protracted origin story, and then when they finally go back and explain what the fuck was going on, that was very postmodern for me.
It was
a comic book. It
was very cool.
Great choice, man.
Yeah, that's an awesome choice. Okay. Got that down,
ready for
Matt?
Mine, or?
Yeah, give it to me.
Okay, so mine is this feller right. This is unusual. This one, Frank Brunner,
Interesting.
Supernatural Thrillers 11. I think one other person chose this. Um, yeah, I mean, I thought it'd be a Gil Kane. I thought it would be, something. There were some runners up. My runner up was Astonishing Tales 21, Kane Esposito, which is the iconic. We made a shirt out of it. It's the
Yeah.
Living Colossus grabbing a car and holding a woman. It's fucking amazing. It's totally iconic of that era. Like, if you're talking about Bronze Age monster books, that cover has to be in there. However, I felt that this cover, and we talked about this on this episode, but this is so dynamic. The flames are leaping and alive. The light sourcing on the characters. It's Kane had been drawing stock mummy horror covers for pretty much, they were adding word balloons to try and make it tie into the issue, but these were all seemingly just out of a drawer. But this one actually did tie in, I think, to the issue. And the shading on the mummy and the detail on the bandages, I can't get over it. It's literally the first thing I thought of after Astonishing Tales 21. This one won to me, though.
You're making a really good case for that, and I didn't really think too much about that one. I was distracted by the shiny things of Astonishing Tales 21 and of Supernatural Thrillers 9, which is another one that I was really, really attached to. But for me, and I know it's maybe not the best cover, but there was something about it. And I'm going to go Dead of Night 11, the intro of the Scarecrow. And this is, it's Gil Kane and Wrightson. And I know it's maybe not like you would look at that and you'd just be like, well, that can't be the best cover. But there's something about it. There's something just about the physicality and the tongue, the bright red tongue sticking out. It's just kind of horrifying, and just I love how there's too many words, but the perfect amount of words, and just the layout, the font on Scarecrow, just everything about this. I kept going back. I'd just be like, oh, maybe this, but nope. Dead of Night 11 for me all the way.
It was my third choice. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Wrightson doing inks on top of Gil Kane. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It's fucking gorgeous.
Yeah, it is.
MJ is correct. That Living Mummy cover is a cracker. It is a cracker.
It is. Yep. Supernatural.
Jackson might have corrected me there. The introspection issue was Gerber.
It was
Thank
Gerber.
You, Jackson.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, it does.
But it was the next issue. That's right. That issue ended with him walking in the alley and going
Then
zoop.
then he
and
zoops
then it's
out.
Isabella from that point on, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jackson. Appreciate that.
Cool.
Yeah, Dead of Night 11 is fucking awesome. In a perfect world, that would have become Scarecrow's book, and he would have had that for another year.
Yeah. That
I had
great
my druthers.
That great porthole, that great font. Fucking awesome.
Yeah. But what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
All right. Well, so yeah, everybody who won a prize, again, I'm not going to be a bear about it, but if you could reach out to me in the next month or two and just remind me that I owe you a prize, I will send you your prizes. I will hook you up with the shirt you want and the trade that Jackson provided to you. Sweet. Well, I think we're done there.
Yeah, we're done with our voting. So now it's just going on to talk about what next season holds for us and the show.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about how we're retooling a little bit. So here are the changes that are in effect, starting with season 6, with the Creature Commandos. So the big difference is that the regular show that you get in your podcast feed so far to date is going to become bi-weekly. So basically what it comes down to is that Jacob and I here are grown-ups with lives and things going on, and we're running a marathon here, not a sprint. So the weekly cadence, the prep, recording, editing, the research that Jacob does, all that stuff, it's a lot of work for us. I love doing it, and I don't want it to feel like it's dragging me down. So it made sense to us to break this down and go bi-weekly. So, but there is an offset here that's going to kind of change that for some of you. So the bonus show is going to be changing as well. and it's going to be published in the off weeks. And we're going to retool the bonus show. So it's going to basically become a supplement to the main show and kind of be more similar to the main show. So if you are a person who supports us on Patreon at the tiers that get the bonus show, you're basically not going to have any change. So we're going to be covering some things that either don't sustain an entire season or just kind of fun things that we want to explore. And so if you support us on those tiers that get the bonus show, you're going to still have a weekly show going on. So, for instance, our first thing we're going to do is the Ulysses Bloodstone saga. So he was launched. You probably know the character. He's a monster hunter. He was immortal. He had a bloodstone affixed to his chest, and he hunted monsters. He was in Marvel Presents issues 1 and 2, and those didn't sell very well, and so they moved on. And then he got a backup in Rampaging Hulk, the magazine, for a while, and then he died. We're going to cover all those issues, all those stories. And so you probably know his daughter, who became a monster hunter, Next Wave, and stuff like that. But we're going to cover all of his things. So the way the season is going to play out, there will be a Creature Commandos episode. And then the following week, there will be a Ulysses Bloodstone episode. And then Creature Commandos, then Ulysses Bloodstone. We're going to do all kinds of stuff like that where stuff that's, again, like short stuff, like the Montesi formula. We've always wanted to talk about that Tomb of Dracula, Doctor Strange story. It's like 6 issues. So that will be what the bonus show is for, a couple months, essentially. And so, so the bonus show is going to fill that void, but only if you're supporting us, I guess, is the kind of downside for some people. Jacob, do you want to weigh in here? And
I think it's great. So yeah, I mean, if you're a supporter of the show, you're still going to get us every week, and and also if you're a supporter of the show, I mean, anyone can do it, but for the most part, supporters of the show are who are on our Discords, who come for the watch-alongs, and so yeah, I think it's it's definitely going to be good for us for sure, because like Matt said, we want to do this for a long time. And so I feel like this is the way to do it. But I also think it's cool. Like, I like that we're going to kind of be running like 2 concurrent shows in a way. And that'll be interesting and kind of cool. And, we'd love input too. If it's like, do you still want to hear about our weird stuff? Do you still want Tales from the Library and Matt talking about cool Kickstarter catch up and all that stuff? So yeah. Yeah, anything. Yeah. We're very obviously, we're open to suggestions, and we want to do what the pack wants us, to do. We want to please our family. So yeah, let us know. Yeah. Let us know what you think.
You guys are our patrons, just like in old Rome, right? Like the rich people would give the poor artists money and say, "Make me art." Yeah. So like, obviously, you're the patrons. You tell us what you like, but this is what we're doing right now, and anticipating some feedback. For me, like, I'm excited about, again, like I said, some of these smaller run things or little things. Like I've wanted to do like I think his name's Hector Ayala, like the first like white tiger. Like, oh yeah, it's in the Deadly Hands of Kung Fu. Just like these little things that don't really necessarily, they couldn't be a whole season. So like, there's a bunch of weird stuff I want to do like that, or stuff from like Skywald or something like that. Like, Skywald had some stories that were recurring, like the gargoyles or whatever. Like, I want to do some weirder stuff. And we're going to be doing those in a way that's, if you've seen what we do with video, like Tales of the Zombie number 10 and the Marvel 2-in-1s and stuff like that. It's going to be like in the Satana comic versions. It's like that where we're on screen, but we're talking about it. There will be an audio version available if that's how you prefer to take it. But there is going to be video for everything. Mm-hmm. And after season 6, when we go into the Atlas Seaboard era, when we're doing the number 1 issues of everything Atlas Seaboard put out in their 2 years of existence, those aren't available. And some of them have like Neil Adams covers and stuff like that. So they're super expensive. So we're going to be doing the entire season basically on YouTube and putting out audio versions of them. So season 7, which is our last known, the edge of the universe, as far as we know, the existence of the show going, that is going to be fully in that vein. So, this switch here with Creature Commandos being a normal podcast, with the bonus show being video and supplementing that, it's kind of a test case for this. And you're probably thinking, well, it sounds like you guys are doing twice as many shows now, which is not the case. We actually have this worked out to where we're doing the same amount of recording and twice as much output. So
Yeah.
I believe this is going to be a positive for us in the long run. One small quality of life improvement. I feel like a tech developer here. I know that currently, if people want to hear the bonus show as an MP3, they have to go to Patreon and download an MP3 and then put it on Google Drive or whatever and put it on their phone and listen to it. I fucking hate that. I hear you. It sucks. There is a way to get a secret RFF feed thing and add it to your podcast app, and it will automatically download the bonus episodes as audio. I am implementing that for the next season. So you won't have to go and do those 3 extra steps to hear the bonus show as audio if that's how you take the show. That's getting out of the mix. It will be in your podcast feed on your podcast app of preference. So a quality of life improvement there, which I think is a pretty big one for a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely.
So those are the big changes there. And I'm sure there's gonna be some people who aren't happy with it, and I totally understand. But we have to do what's right for us as producers first, and that's what felt right. I feel like I was feeling a little overwhelmed with my new work responsibilities, and I feel like Jacob saw that and came to me and said, "Hey, we should probably switch some stuff up." And I've been kind of starting to get there myself without consciously thinking about it. So when he asked me, I was already kind of there in a way. So this makes sense for us.
Yeah, definitely. No, this is going to be fun.
Yeah, cool. All right, so those are the changes for season 6. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to see monsters beat up Nazis. I mean, there's nothing better, really, in my opinion,
That's
than
it.
monsters kicking Nazi ass. There's a little bit of business here before we say goodbye to you. Thanks all for watching, by the way. We appreciate all of you. So we are coming back in early June, probably a week or so into June, like I said. So some other business. We'll be doing a live stream next Sunday. And that is with, actually, you know what? Let's do our shout outs and let's do these little things I have here.
Cool.
All right. So thank you to all of you who support us. You know who you are. We love you. You're like family to us. Thanks so much to Benjamin Potter,
Blake, last name withheld.
Brad Elmore,
Brian Steed.
Brian from Marvel by the Month,
Brink.
Caleb,
Dave Kennedy.
David D,
David Goodwin.
Glenn Lash,
Jared from Swords and Scrolls podcast.
Jason Finestone, the hero of the hour, apparently.
Johnny Turner.
Justin the Owl.
Letty, so good to see you tonight, Letty.
Matt Harvey, thank you for your ballot, Matt.
Michelle from Moonlit Comics.
Pat Svek.
Rob from Marvel by the Month.
Russ from Taste the Pot of Dracula, and we're going to be talking about him in a moment.
Steve Lacey.
Tony Iupi.
Tim Tucker.
And Worm Drive Pro. Thank you so much for being PAC members. We appreciate you so much. And there's a tier above that, though.
Oh.
That's folks like Michael Giacchino,
Eric Hadley.
Jesse McFerrin,
Josh Link.
Catherine Neff.
MJ.
Thanks for joining us, MJ. I know it's fucking late as hell there.
Yeah.
Landon. Landon.
Mark Nivens.
John Walsh.
Melissa Watts.
Ryan from Across the Bifrost, a Mighty Thor podcast.
Ben M.
And Jackson T. Overstreet, our Uber patron currently.
Lift a glass to
Daddy
all of you
Jackson.
star gods. Yeah, Daddy Jackson.
Yes. So, as I was saying, we have something going with Russ and Justin the Owl on the 19th, which is next Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern time and 6 p.m. our time Pacific. We're doing a shared stream where we're talking about Incredible Hulk 244, where we see the ultimate end of It, the Living Colossus. So that big stone figure had been sitting on a shelf for a while, and somebody decided, let's dust this thing off and destroy it. And we're excited to see that. So we're going to be doing a shared stream. It's kind of a team up of sorts between these two podcasts, Gamma Charge and Bronze Age Monsters. And we are raising money for the Hero Initiative. Do you want to explain what that is, Jacob, briefly?
Yeah, so I mean, the Hero Initiative, I forget who actually started that. It's been around for a lot longer than you'd think. And yeah, I mean, it helps out older writers and creators, I think, with all sorts of costs, really just, I think it's,
Legal and
helping.
medical are the ones, right?
Legal and medical are probably the biggest ones. Yeah. But
Yeah.
it's an amazing foundation, and they do amazing work, and they've really helped out a lot of creators that all of us really love. And so it's an amazing charity. So I'm glad. I hope everyone could come on and give a little bit.
Yeah. So while we do the stream, we're gonna be doing it like we do the other video things. So like it'll be the four of us on screen in little boxes and the art displayed as we go through the issue and talk about it and chat. And there will be a little overlay of the QR code. So if at any point you feel like scanning that and donating $1 or $2 or $5 or whatever to this cause, it's a great charity. It's completely legit. They're awesome. They help people who live their entire lives as artists and writers, writing for the big two who had no health insurance, and they're in ill health now and they need help. It helps people who are being sued for challenging the big two, like saying, I did all this stuff and you fucked me out of a bunch of money, and they need a lawyer to help them prove that. It's all that kind of stuff. So it's so much us, I think, and in our hearts. So please join us on May 19th. That'll be on our YouTube channel. I think we're hosting that one. So it'll be a crossover with those other two guys, and we're super stoked. I can't wait to do it.
Yeah, it's going to be a blast. So definitely check that out when it airs.
Right on. Cool. And then I guess the other thing is, like, speaking of Russ, he's a very busy man.
He is.
Dynamite Entertainment, that imprint. They recently launched a Space Ghost comic written by David Pepos with art by Jonathan Lau. And our friend Russ is hosting an official podcast that goes along like a companion piece for that new Space Ghost comic book. And the first episode has come out in the issue. And I haven't had a chance to read or listen to it yet. So Russ hooked us up with that, but I haven't done it yet. My apologies.
I haven't either.
I'm sure it's going to be great. I did check out some interviews with that writer. He seems awesome. The art's amazing. So, and we know Russ is solid. So I'm sure it's good. So please check that out in the month before we come back. Check out, it's called Ghost Stories with David Pepos. Pepose. So check that out. And also, you might have seen in the feed that we did push our friend Jared Savitas' new podcast, Swords and Scrolls. Please check that out. It's super fun. It's a show where he talks about heroic fantasy comics and other stuff from the 70s and 80s. He has different guests on and talks about different things. He's currently loincloth deep in Thongor, the warrior of Lost Lemuria. Our friend Jason Farrell was just on the most recent episode. I've been reading along in my my bound
Look at that
comic. It's got Val Mayrick art in it. So I mean, you can't go cameras.
That's just showing off. That's just showing off.
Val Mayrick, Petra Goldberg colors. Good stuff. So check that out. It's a great show, and you like sword and sandal stuff, like sword and sorcery stuff. I mean, everybody's cool.
Yeah, everybody loves it.
Yeah. So I think that's it. I think that's our business. We're going to be back, in, like I said, just about a month's time, and talking about Frankenstein's and vampires' and werewolves' and gorgons' fighting hit horses. So I can't find a downside to this.
Nope, it's all ups.
Sweet. All right. Well, Jacob, I think this was a good one.
Yeah,
super
this was fun
talking to some of our friends, huh?
Yeah, that was great. My
drink's gone
glad.
too.
Yeah,
perfect timing.
Yeah, I know. My drink's totally gone.
Wait,
no,
Twin Peaks.
Yep. Oh shit. All right. There we go.
All right. If you want a prize, again, email bronzeagemonsters@gmail.com. All right. Do the connection. Let's get it done. Otherwise, we'll see you soon. And I did not mention this, but we're going to release the first couple bonus episodes in the public so that people kind of, there's no jarring disconnect of the weekly thing. And then we're just going to kind of slowly, start cutting the heroin. And then it's like, wait a minute, I'm not getting as high anymore. And it's like, yeah, here's the thing. That's baby laxative.
Yeah, we cut. Oh, that's. Can we just say that's a Twin Peaks reference as well? Dead Dog Farm, everyone. Dead Dog Farm.
Dead Dog Farm.
Mm-hmm. There we go.
So, thank you guys so much for hopping on. being brave enough to take a test of a bunch of obscure horse shit that I
Yeah.
made. And just being the best, awesome fucking fan base in the world. We love you guys. You guys are all family to us. And we appreciate everything you do. And we love that you check in with us all the time and are so supportive. So thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah. This is great. This is the best online family ever.
Goddamn right. All right. Well, until we see you in season 6, stay bronze, Pony Boy. Stay bronze.